Good morning, campers. Have I got a story to tell you? But right now, we're having some coffee this morning out here with my pond geese. Oh my gosh, this has been interesting couple of days, my friends, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, I'm just going to kind of enjoy things here for a little bit while still kind of quiet in the neighborhood, and I will catch up directly. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends. Well, we moved on into the kitchen. I topped off my coffee. And right now we're going to be waiting a while, but we're waiting on a phone call because Red's at the mechanics. Today would have been our travel down day to the campground, but unfortunately yesterday, as I was out and about, we lost the brakes. Went to use the brake. Fortunately, it wasn't going fast or anything like that. That was fortunate. But went to apply the brake and my foot went to the floor. So holy catfish. That was a hair-raising moment, to put it politely. And so fortunately, I was just maybe 100 yards from a gas station. So limped down the side of the road because the emergency brake worked just fine. It didn't get me stopped. And got into the gas station, made some phone calls, got a tow truck, and Red went to the mechanic. Then I got a call saying, well, you need new brake lines. I'm like, it is what it is. Get them fixed. What else are you going to do? Oh my goodness. So, well, that's what's going on. And what I planned to make, well, today, which we'll make today anyway, down at the camp was fried chicken and cornmeal gravy. And it's a recipe my grandma would make many years ago. And I thought, well, I thought that sounded like an interesting thing to put together for everybody. So we're going to do that. But right now, my friends, I'm going to, this is it, just pretty much piddle around the house for the majority of the day. One good thing about yesterday, though, once I got home, it was a fairly nice day, so nothing better to do. I grabbed a rod and went down to the pond, and I actually got some footage of that. So I'll share that with you guys right now until, well, about 6-7 hours from now, we'll be cooking dinner. And Red should be in the driveway. So everybody out there, appreciate you hanging in there for this crazy little adventure, but, you know, sometimes life happens. So everybody out there, appreciate you all coming along. Take care, and we'll catch up at dinner time. There we go. Come out of there. Walking down here. Come on, buddy. Covered up in some stuff. Ooh, he's a nice one. Bank flipping. There, buddy. Not a bad way to spend the day. Oh, that hook just fell out of there. Holy catfish. All right, let's put him back. Oop. Off he goes. Nice. There we go. I get tangled up in this stuff so bad. I want to just yank him through it. Come on now. We come over here. Yeah, you got a mouthful, buddy. Oh my gosh, this one's even bigger than the last one. Let's be careful here. I'm not gonna break my line. I got 14-pound test on here. Oh yeah, you got a face full, don't you? All right. All right, let's see. Oh Lord, that stuff is horrible. All right. All right, let's see if we can get this out of here. There we go. Oh, that's a nice one, my friends. Let's get him back in the water. Whoop. And our babies out here today. And, and the geese everywhere. Unfortunately, somebody's got some trash in the water. And that happens here in this neighborhood from time to time. Just from wind and whatnot. Oh, catfish. Oh, he did not like being hooked. Oh my gosh, that was fun. Dude come flying up out of there. All right, let me fix my stuff here, my friends. All right, my friends. Well, we've got Red back. Woohoo! I'm pretty happy. And now we're on our way back to the house. So, well, everything's looking pretty good. So, my friends, appreciate you hanging in there, and I'll see you when we get to the kitchen. All right, my friends. Well, let's get to cooking because it's been a long day and I'm hungry. So, we're going to get our chicken prepped. So, what I have here is 1 cup of buttermilk. We're going to add that to our little bowl here. There we go. Pretty close. That's handy. We're going to toss in an egg. Perfect. And about 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. I'm using the Sweet Baby Ray's Original. I restocked. I want to call that about 2 tablespoons. A little more won't hurt. So let me get this mixed up. Okay, we're good there. Make a little bit of space here. We're going to need both of these later, so I'm going to wash them out while the oil's heating up. And in preparation for our camping trip, I already put the breading together for travel. But what I have here is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, about a half teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of paprika, and 1 cup of crushed cornflakes. That's about my favorite breading for fried chicken anymore, because it's just, I should have gotten a bigger plate. Trying to be a little bit more careful than at the campground. Okay, so now we're going to get our chicken going. Oh, I'm going to need 1 of these. Well, probably 2. I don't care for the narrow. Yeah, I missed the full-size paper towels, but that way. So and I just took 1 chicken breast and just split it. We're going to dunk that in there real good. Let it, a little excess off there, and into the breading we go. Because once we get it all breaded, we want it to sit for a little bit, and that's when we'll get the oil heated up, and I'm going to make a mess, but that's okay. Yep, should have got a bigger plate. My bad. Right, that's 1. Oh, there's no way around it. I'm going to get it all over me. There we go. We'll smash it down in there real good. Whoops. I knew I was going to do that. And we'll be grabbing a broom here directly. This stuff gets everywhere. Looks pretty good. All right, my friends, I'm going to clean up a little bit. Holy catfish. And get our oil heating up, and then we'll move over to the stove. Oh, my goodness. All right, my friends, in preparation for our gravy, what I have here in this little container is 2 tablespoons of self-rising corn flour and 2 tablespoons of milk. And I'm giving that a mix. It helps that, and we're gonna let that sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. It helps soften that cornmeal up before we construct our gravy. which we'll probably do. We're going to do that first because it actually takes longer to cook than the chicken, just because it's all low and slow. So we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, my friends. All right, my friends, it's been about 10 minutes. So what I have here is what I'm putting in our little saucepan here is 2 tablespoons of bacon grease and 1 tablespoon of just regular butter. And we're going to get this joker heating up. And as soon as that gets all melted, we'll add our cornmeal and continue on. Making this gravy is a little bit of a process, I'll admit that. Oh, melt, buddy. All right, my friends, I started heating up the oil, so now we're going to get our corn flour mixture in here because our butter and grease are ready to go. There we go. So we're going to stir this up and make a nice roux, and that's going to take a minute or 2. So bear with me, my friends, and we'll add some more to it. Now I've been pretty much stirring the cornmeal mixture up here pretty good, and this is just an added thing that I do, is I add about a tablespoon of chicken broth. You really don't taste the chicken broth in there, but it does make it richer. We'll get that mixed in. Now we're ready to start adding 1 cup of milk. Now, typically what I do is I go about half a cup first. This is a process. We'll get all that incorporated. And then dump in the rest of it. Whoop. And we're going to bring that up to a nice low simmer and just kind of let it do its thing. But we will be whisking it fairly often. So, and here shortly, shouldn't be too much longer, and our oil should be up to temp. Let's take a check here, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. All right, my friends. Well, here in a minute, we'll be dropping our chicken in. Oh, and I can't express enough to bring this up on a low heat. My friends, we're ready to drop our chicken in. We're at temperature on the oil, and the gravy's coming along nicely. And we're going to cook these probably about 3 minutes on the side, and then we'll give them a check. You want an internal about 165. You gotta keep stirring. All right, my friends, well, I'm heating up some water so we can have some mashed potatoes to go with all this goodness. And I've just flipped the chicken, so shoot, here in just a few minutes we'll be plated up and ready to go. Oh, at this point, almost forgot to mention, salt and pepper to taste. So usually I wait till the gravy's pretty much done, and then I add just a pinch of salt, and hopefully just a pinch of pepper. This thing doesn't cooperate real well. There we go. And then mix that. There we go. All right, my friends, when we come back, we should be at the table. All right, my friends, well, I've let everything cool down here just a little bit. Whoop. Now let's just set you right there. So let's get a piece of this chicken. And the mashed potatoes, oh, here we go. I just a package of instant mashed potatoes. See if I can do this without getting... I've already made enough of a mess today. Holy catfish. Flour all over my shirt. There we go. And let's get to our gravy. This is still pretty warm. We gotta put some on our potatoes too. There we go. All right, and I will say I did get mashed potatoes on the table. Cornmeal gravy has a texture to it. There's no getting around that because you're using cornmeal. But it's, I guess, in comparison, I don't know if you may or may not be familiar with the breakfast dish cream of wheat. It's kind of like that. Let's give her a taste test. That's kind of a big bite. I have a tendency to do that, so let's just trim that down just a little bit. Oh, that is definitely pretty good, my friends. Holy catfish. And I guess what it brings to the table, so to speak, is on the back end of the gravy, it's almost got like a cornbread taste to it. You can taste that cornmeal in there, but it's not sweet because we're not using any sugar. Cheers to you, my friends. This has been an interesting couple of days, my friends, but at least we get a nice home cooked meal at the end of it. Let's try this with the potatoes. Oh, that's really good. Gravy came out really well, my friends. One of the keys to the cornmeal gravy is the longer you simmer it, the smoother it gets. So we let it simmer for a good long time. And right now, I mean, as I mentioned before, the texture, it's very faint in this gravy. So actually, this is one of the better ones I've ever made. I'll be honest. Oh my goodness. Well, my friends, I just want to tell you how much I truly appreciate you hanging in there on this episode. But I'm really looking forward to really looking forward to us getting back out there on the road next week. And I've got I guess I wouldn't call it a bonus, but what I plan for next week for dinner is something we're going to cook. We're going to take an old traditional campfire meal and make some modifications to it. And we're going to cook it right over the campfire. So it's going to come out pretty good, my friends. So again, thanks everybody for coming along. Y'all take care. And as always, I'll see you soon. That's good.